G'day guys and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we will be hopping on Squiggle. For the third time we're doing this same video idea. We're going to be randomising the AFL ladder. However, this time we will be randomising the ladder for the 2022 AFL season. So we'll be randomising it around 10 times, 10 different times, to see the different results we can get with the ladder. If you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. The AFL season is right ahead of us, and it would mean the world if you guys could subscribe, jump onto the channel, because the AFL content will be pumping out over the next few weeks. Without further ado, we'll get straight onto Squiggle and we'll see what our first randomised ladder will be. So as you can see here on Rate My Ladder on Squiggle, we have the alphabetical order placed ladder for the pre-season. Now we can click randomise, and that is how it is. So we're going to set it to 2021. Just so we can see how far off the score is to the actual ladder in 2021, because obviously the 2022 ladder hasn't arrived yet, so it's just to be announced. So set it to 2021, we'll actually get a percentage and a score to see how far off the ladder is from the actual correct positions. So here we go, we're going to click reset. This is how the ladder ended up at the end of the 2021 season. And for our first spin on the randomizer, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And West Coast finishing first, and North Melbourne and Collingwood both in the top 8. That is, well, both in the top 4. That is probably the craziest thing we can see about this ladder. And also Melbourne finishing wooden spooners. They go from the very top and winning the flag, and imagine they finish bloody wooden spooners next year. That would be crazy to see. But a lot of people have West Coast finishing very low on this year's ladder, so West Coast finishing first is a very big jump to what the predictions are. Collingwood finishing second is just nearly impossible with the list that they have, and North Melbourne finishing third is just unrealistic. But yeah, that's the fun thing we can see about these randomised ladders. We can just see the possibilities and the outcomes that could potentially happen. This is, geez, if this happens, I'll give away my YouTube channel. After the first click, we can see we've got a score of 20.2, and we've also got a score of F. So not a good way to start off the ladder in terms of positions correct, but it's definitely a good way to start off the ladder if we want to switch things up and get a bit interesting. So click number 2. Here we go. 2022 randomizer. 3, 2, 1. And North Melbourne finishing wooden spooners. Sorry, not wooden spooners. They're finishing top of the table, minor premiers. And this has a ladder position of 51.1 and also D minus. So GWS finished in the correct spot that they finished in the 2021 season, and so did Hawthorn finishing 14th on the ladder. But North Melbourne winning the minor premiership is, Jesus Christ, if that happens, that would be really crazy to see. The Dogs finishing second, definitely a possibility. Now the Bombers finishing third, it probably won't happen, but it could happen. You never know with the Bombers. Sydney finishing fourth, that's a pretty realistic prediction. Richmond fifth, not sure about that. I think they'll maybe place a bit lower. Melbourne sitting in sixth. Who knows? They'll definitely range in the top 8, but who knows where they might finish. The craziest thing about this would probably be definitely be North Melbourne finishing in the minor premiership position. Moving on to our third click here of the randomizer. 3, 2, 1. West Coast finishing on top again. So we've seen West Coast win 2 minor premierships already in this video, just from 3 ladder randomizers. We see Carlton finishing in second and Hawthorn finishing third. The second time Geelong have finished in the top 4 in the 4th position, and North Melbourne are getting some pretty high ladder placements as well, finishing in 5th. We see Adelaide finishing inside the 8 at 7th position, which I don't think will happen this year. And we got Brisbane bottom of the table. We got Melbourne third last. So yeah, pretty unrealistic table. Randomised click number 4. 3, 2, 1. Bang! St Kilda finishing minor premiership, and Melbourne winning the wooden spoon once again. Jeez, the D's are getting really not lucky with this ladder predictor, but the Sydney Swans finish where they did finish at the end of the 2021 season in 6th position. We got a score of 17.7. We got an F, so yeah, definitely not the best round for correct position placements. We got Gold Coast sitting in the 4th position, Collingwood in the 8, North Melbourne in the 8 as well. Nothing too crazy about this ladder, but we'll move on. Click number 5, here we go. We see Adelaide and Gold Coast finish first and second. That is crazy. And we see the two grand finalists from last year, second last and last. Can you believe that? Melbourne finishing 17th and the Doggies winning the wooden spoon after both teams performed in the 2021 AFL Grand Final. We got the Dockers finishing 11th, where they did finish at the end of the 2021 season. And North Melbourne, once again, a really high ladder placement. Can you believe that? That is a really interesting thing about the randomised ladders, because you never know where some teams will finish, and it's just a bit of fun seeing what teams could possibly sneak up into the 8 just out of the blue with no real reasoning behind it. Just one click of the button and who knows where they could finish. So we'll move on to number 6. 3, 2, 1. See Essendon finishing top and North Melbourne again with another high ladder placement. We see West Coast finishing last, which, who knows, it could be a possibility. With the list that they have and the form that they have currently, we got Sydney in 17th position, we got Melbourne in 16th position, we've got Adelaide finishing where they did at the end of 2021, we got Richmond finishing 14th, where they definitely could sit at the end of the home and away season in 2022. We got Brisbane finishing 4th, where they did finish at the end of last year. We got Hawthorn 3rd, and we've got North Melbourne 2nd. They are having some really high ladder placements. Here we go, moving on to number 6. 3, 2, 1. We see Richmond finish in first, top of the table. We see Collingwood finish in the top 4. We see Sydney finish 6th again, where they did finish at the end of last year. We see the Doggies winning the wooden spoon once again, and finally North Melbourne in a more realistic position for them to place at the end of the next year, this season, sorry. Gold Coast just sneaking into the 8, and nothing too interesting about this ladder. It's 31.8, so a bit higher than we usually get, but let's see the highest score we can possibly get. Here we go, we'll randomise it again. 3, 2, 1. We see Richmond finish first again. That's only 24.3. We see Freo finish in the 8. We see GWS win the wooden spoon, and as well as Melbourne and the Doggies both at the bottom of the table again. Wow, and we're in North Melbourne finishing 2nd with another high ladder placement. North Melbourne are just rising on the ladder. Wow, imagine they do something incredibly outstanding this year to somehow finish in the top 8. Here we go, randomise again. 3, 2, 1. Carlton winning the minor premiership, followed by Richmond, GWS and Gold Coast sitting in the top 4. Very interesting top 4 positioning. We got Collingwood winning the wooden spoon, as well as the Bombers down at the bottom of the table, Adelaide, Sydney in the bottom 4, and the Doggies haven't had the best of luck in this randomising ladder video. We've got Geelong sitting in 8th, and Hawthorn haven't been too bad with the ladder placements. They've been sort of up and down. But yeah, nothing too interesting apart from Carlton finishing on top of the table. 3, 2, 1, randomise, and that is the best score we have got so far, 60.6. Not a bad score at all. We see Geelong finishing top of the table, which could definitely happen, although their list is getting a bit too old. They might have to find some younger players at the start of the next season. I reckon this will be the last good year for the Cats. We see Gold Coast finishing in 2nd position, which is just really, unrealistic at all. If that happens, I'd be very surprised. Carlton finishing 6th position. It could happen, it definitely could happen, but I just don't think they're going to be finishing there just yet. Hawthorn finishing 9th, as I said, they're a bit up and down. Collingwood wooden spooners. We got Freo 2nd last, Richmond 3rd last, Sydney once again in the bottom 4. They've been up and down as well, the Swannies. Here we go, we're going to be doing 2 more randomised clicks, and we'll see if we can get somehow a higher score than 60.6. 3, 2, 1, random. We see Sydney finish in 1st position now, 52.0. Not the worst score we can possibly get. We've definitely got better in 60, but probably one of the highest scores we've got in this video. We see Sydney finish 1st position. We see Port Adelaide finish where they did at the end of last year. We see GWS in the top 4, as well as the Bombers finishing 4th position. West Coast, I feel like they've had a few top 5th position placements in this video. We see Gold Coast sneaking into the 8, which they have been doing quite frequently in this recording as well. We see St Kilda finishing in the same spot that they did at the end of last season, and that's pretty much it. We'll move on. Alright, here we go. We're going to be doing 3 more clicks, and then we'll call it off. Alright, here we go. Bang. 42.3, not the best score, however. We did get Carlton's correct positioning, where they finished at the end of last season. We see Melbourne once again finishing wooden spooners. They haven't had the best of luck in this video. See Freo finishing second last. We haven't seen too many high placement for the Dockers. But GWS top of the table. Hawthorn been up and down. Where's North Melbourne? They've had some really high ladder placements in this video, but finishing 8th. Alright, 2 more clicks. Here we go. Hawthorn first, Gold Coast second. Score of 26. That is horrible. We got no correct positions. Geelong were there, then we would have got 1 correct position. But 26, not too great. North Melbourne 8th. Once again, the Dockers finally moving up a few more positions up higher on the table. Going to be doing this last click of the video. Here we go. Last randomising of the ladder. 3, 2, 1. 34.4. Definitely not the best. However, not the worst. So the Dockers finishing 10th again. We see for our last randomising of the ladder, Carlton finishing as the minor premiers. We've got Essendon in the top 4. North Melbourne finishing 3rd. They've probably had the most consistent top 4 finishes, North Melbourne. See the Doggies in 5th position. Pretty good placements for the Dogs. Geelong just missing out on finals. And nothing else too more interesting. We see Melbourne down at the ladder. They haven't had the best of luck in this video either. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more of this AFL content. It will be pumping out over the next few weeks as the season is right around the corner from us. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to jump on and yeah, stay tuned for the AFL uploads.